So
Yeah, maybe, few
long
years
back,
back.
long back. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Long back, more than 10 years back, I think. Yep.
I
So
saw I saw the recording and I can see that you had good number of devotee who joined that Rath Yatra.
yes, Prabhuji. So
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So very powerful section we are going through. And last class we went through verse number 33, which is the first Chatushloki verse that talks about Sambandha Gyan. And then today we'll try to at least cover 34, 35, two verses. We'll see how many verses we can go. Let's get into it. So the first Chatushloki verse was spoken to Lord Brahma by Supreme Lord himself. So very first verse that he spoke was Ahamevasam eva agre nanyad yat shad asat param pashad aham yad etad cha yo avashishyata swasmi aham. Very clearly we talked about it. We also saw some reference that how to understand this verse in depth. The next verse that Krishna spoke was this verse number 34. और ते अर्थम यत प्रतीयता न प्रतीयता च आत्मनि तद विद्याद आत्मनोमयम यथा भासो तथात्मः यत अर्थम यत प्रतीयता न प्रतीयता च आत्म तद विद्याद आत्मनोमयम मायाम यथा भासो तथात्मः. So translation goes, O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Arte artham yat pratyata na pratyata cha atmani. Anything cha atmani here refers to Supreme Lord. Anything that is we are trying to take meaning out of. Artham means meaning. And whatever meaning comes out of it, if it's related to Supreme Lord, then it has meaning. Otherwise, he says Tad Vidyad Atmano Mayam. But if there is knowledge and that knowledge is not related to him, then it is Maya only. Very, very clear statement. Anything that's related to me, he says that has real value. If it's not related to me, oh Lord Brahma, no, it's Maya only. And how it is being exemplified here, yatha abhaso, yatha tamha. Reflection, yatha abhaso means something that appears to be. Abhas means something that appears to be. Yatha, something, yatha, that appear to be real in darkness. So there are two important elements here that we have to understand. First, anything that is related to Krishna and things which are not related to Krishna. That's what it is, right? If you look around, there are things which are related to Lord, and there are things which are not related to Lord. And the deeper understanding of these two categories is things which are under Yog Maya potency and objects which are under Mahamaya potency. So Lord has two potencies, Mahamaya and Yog Maya. That's how Krishna is conducting this material manifestation. Mahamaya and Yog Maya. His spiritual abode has only Yog Maya potency active. There is no Mahamaya, which is Durga Maharani has no responsibility in his spiritual abode. But in material abode, both Yog Maya and Mahamaya is active. So where you and I are part of, both Lord's illusory energy and his internal potency both are present. So Krishna is advising through Lord Brahma that anything, any object, any action that are pertaining to him are reality. But if it doesn't involve him, then it's not a reality. And how it's not a reality? He gives the example of having a image, reflection that forms in darkness, tamaha. So my question to devotee, do we have you seen any reflection in the darkness? What you would like to share about the reflection in the darkness? Can I hear something? What is your understanding about having a reflection in the darkness?
It's like the rope appearing as a snake also. That's one.
Yes. So one of the very basic example, as Prabhu said, is a rope. So a rope appears as a snake in darkness. That's true. Rope appears as snakes. So what's the meaning of that for us? Something that is not appears to be in absence of avidya, illusion, illusory energy. That's what illusory energy does. It creates the wrong identity of something which is not there. A perfect example is that rope appears to be like snake. That is good example. Anything else? So how reflections are forming into darkness? Do you know? Like what is the depth of that? Is there any reflection that forms in the darkness? Or if there is, what is that? If not, then what is that? Any idea? Anything that anybody can share?
I think another example which is given, which I can remember, is from chapter 15th of Bhagavad Gita, the banyan tree example, the reflection in the water, the tree is like, the roots up, and so that's also an illusion that we live in this material world, which is obviously an illusion, though it's not, false, but it's still illusionary. So that's another example I can remember, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Nice examples. Anything anybody can remember? What happens with the reflection that's forming in the darkness? In reality,
No,
there is no reflection.
we feel that that is real reality, uh, and we'll be proceeding with that same thing.
Yeah,
And also, like say, simple thing is we are thinking about we are body and acting that way.
right. So in fact, reflection that forms in darkness, there is no reflection in the darkness, by the way. If it's complete darkness, then really there is no reflection. If there is some reflection in the darkness, that reflection is also because there is somewhere some source of light. Maybe the source of light is not strong enough, but there is some light. So this is a beautiful example. You can expand that on this example to understand the reality of the material world. The very first one is that there is no reflection. If there is complete darkness, then there is no reflection. What does it mean? The simplistic understanding of that statement is if one is too far away from Krishna, then there is nothing happening in their life that is meaningful. Okay? If it's too far, I don't believe in God, atheistic type of mentality, there is no God, why do I have to worship? Nothing, no form of God, nothing, completely atheistic type of behavior. For that person, there is no reality. That person is not seeing any reality completely. That's what Krishna is saying here. That if it's beyond, if it's not related to me, then it has no reality. Then that's one understanding, completely gross. And then higher than that is the understanding where there is a weak, weak reflection. There is some reflection, but it's very weak. And that is demigod, worshipping demigod. Where Krishna says that ultimately everyone is looking for me. So there is some goodness, right? So there is some presence of light, and that presence of light make some reflection. So that reflection is not bad, it's a reflection, it's up to some extent there is some reality with it because there is object and that object has reflection. When reflection forms, you have to have a object. Object has reflection, right? So that is not complete reality. It's pseudo partial reality. But that also has some uh, meaning. But the real reality or reality is things or objects which are related to Krishna. And that reality is bhakti. So, so reflection that forms through the process of Karma Yoga or through the process of Jnana Yoga or through the process of Ashtanga Yoga have some reality. It's not like that. It does not have any reality. There is some light there and some degree of reflection is being formed. But complete reality is when we are engaged in devotional service of Supreme Lord. So in illusion, rope appears as snake. Now there is body, we have body and soul. Body and soul. So body that we have, which is made out of material element, that is reality. Yeah, body, that's reality. And soul is reality. So body is reality, yeah, body. And soul is encased inside the body. That soul is reality. But when we identify, when soul identifies that I am this body, that is not the reality. So rope is reality and darkness is reality. Both rope and both darkness are reality. But when rope appears as snake due to presence of light, that is not the reality. So that is why there is cutting edge difference between Brahman Advaita philosophy and philosophy of personalism, where we say Lord is. There is cutting edge difference. Yes, body that we have is reality, soul is reality. But Advaita school will say this body is illusory, there is no body. Once you have the complete knowledge, then this body will dissolve and there is no separate soul also. Okay, this is all illusion. It's illusory understanding that we have a prithak form, your form, my form, all of these forms, these are completely illusory. The reality is that we all are that same ultimate truth. Aham Brahmasmi, right? This Mahakavya, Mahavakya, that I am that Brahman and we are that Narayan. We have this body, this identity due to illusion. Once illusion is taken out, such as once the darkness is completely removed, then rope will appear as rope. It will not appear as snake. But our school of thought, Brahmada Gaurya Sampradaya, says that no, even if you remove the darkness, the rope is the reality, which is fact. Rope is there. Now rope is appearing as snake because of darkness, and that darkness has to be removed. But rope is reality. So how to remove? What is that darkness? That darkness is Mahamaya. That darkness is Lord's illusory energies. Okay, and that's what basically process of bhakti does. Process of bhakti removes that illusory identity and formally situate one in process of bhakti. And then once we are situated in the relationship with the Supreme Lord, then you can see that this statement start making sense. What is that statement? Arte artham yat pratyata. Whatever is now appearing to be meaningful, that meaning is coming out cha atmani in relations to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So to understand this, we have to go back to this beautiful slide that we have seen while we were doing Bhakti Sastri course. And I had shared this slide. So I will have to go back to this slide to make the point clear that we are talking here. So what happens is that this is a chart. This is a progression that shows how that darkness is being removed. By the way, before I talk about this chart, the same teaching is also presented in Ishopanishad, and devotees who are going to Bhakti Sastri, we are going to talk about Vidya and Avidya. Okay, Vidya and Avidya. Vidya and Avidya. Vidya is knowledge, Avidya is ignorance. So both Vidya and Avidya have to be known. There is no importance of knowledge or Vidya if there is no Avidya, because Vidya can be explained properly in context of Avidya. So Mahamaya, energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, is Avidya, and Yogamaya potency is Vidya. So what this Vidya and Avidya does, what is Mahamaya and Yogamaya does? Mahamaya potency, when it acts on the living entity, it takes one away from Krishna. So if one is completely under the influence of Lord's illusory energy, then that person is far, 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 far away. But if one is fully exposed under the shelter of Lord's Yogamaya potency, then one is very, 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 very close to Krishna. So that's what Krishna is saying, that any meaning, if there is any meaning in any action that we do, if that meaning is not associated to me, then consider that this is just the image, reflection that is forming in the darkness, which means there is no reflection. It's just the illusion. So this is the progression of how the darkness is getting removed. One side is the very bottom, you will see, is ignorance. Completely bewilderment. And that is Mahamaya. And all the way on the top is Shuddha Sattva, complete Yogamaya. Okay. So our goal is to come here under Shuddha Sattva and not in the illusion and the card, Mahamaya. So this is a progression how we go from Mahamaya to Yogamaya. So when our actions are very much engaged for our sense gratification, then it's completely illusory. Okay, we make some progress and we engage in Shakam Karma Yoga, where now we are doing the actions of ashrama, varna and ashrama, and then higher than that is Niskam Karma Yoga, where actions are still performance of varnashram activity, but with some knowledge. Okay, and then Niskam Karma Yoga leads to Jnana Yoga, where now we know the purpose of action with some proper understanding. So you can see that slowly here there is complete avidya, and this avidya is transforming towards complete vidya. So up to here, when we are talking about Gyan Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Gyan Yoga, that has still some actions which are actions of Varnashrama, Niskam Yoga too, but Gyan Yoga is dominant. All of these are transforming from that darkness to light. Tamso Majutirgamya. We say that, you know, the living entity is transforming through darkness towards light. So one of the beauty of this transformation is that there are some lights here. This is the more practical way I can present the concept. As you are going up, as you are going from this complete illusion towards higher stage, you would you would have some light that you would see. Okay, and many times people think that that light, that knowledge, that vidya that they have received is the ultimate vidya. Okay, so in the very beginning there is no bhakti. Okay, and then up to Sakam Karma Yoga, there is Karmishra Bhakti. Okay, there is devotion, but the devotion is very much oriented towards action, karma related. Sukha Sampati Gharaave Kastmite Tanka, you would see, people would go in front of Lord Jagannath and say that, give me this Dhanam Dehi, Janam Dehi, Putram Dehi, Vidya Dehi, all of that. This is called Karmishra Bhakti. Okay, Bhakti that has that has still desire dominant, and but it has some bhakti. Should I spend some time? Is it making sense or not? I want to ask before I. Should I spend some time on this slide to make
Yes,
it clear? Okay.
yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, so there are some bhakti. Okay. So some light is coming because of that bhakti, but it's karmisra bhakti. Okay. Bhakti is there, but it is tinged with fruitive desire. And then higher than that comes Gyan Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, where you would see that people have left their house, they go to secluded places, they would live on the bank of a river, they would have a small uh, cottage, and they would do tapasya there. But that tapasya they do to either get the power of oneself, bhukti or mukti. This is they are on the higher stage where they thinking that I have to do bhakti so that I can become free, free from this body. No, so that desire of helping oneself, is dominant. And people, you will hear people would say that, oh, I see Krishna every day. I remember people talking like that. So they are a little bit on the renounce stage, but that renouncement is also for some particular benefit. So at this stage, what they have done is that they have completely renounced the fruitive mentality. Okay, so at platform of Ashtanga Yoga, Gyan Yoga, there is no desire, there are no fruitive desire. Fruitive desires are not there. One is not acting for one's personal benefit. But still there are some desire that, okay, I need to know, I have to learn, there is some Jnana aspect of it. There is some aspect that is for their self benefit. So Karma Mishra Bhakti has transformed to Gyan Mishra Bhakti. And Gyan Mishra Bhakti is the bhakti where bhakti is dominant with some support of Gyan. Okay, but that is still not Shuddha Bhakti. So this one, these two terms, Karma Mishra Bhakti or Gyan Mishra Bhakti, we call it Pradhanibhuta Bhakti. Vishwanath Thakur has given the term Pradhanibhuta Bhakti, where in Karma Mishra stage, one is doing bhakti for some fruitive result. Ranyayam hoga, people would know me, I'm a great devotee, something, or something related to, you know, uh, fruitive desire. Higher than that is Gyan Mishra Bhakti, where people does show some renounce attitude, but still there is self benefit. That's why when sometimes say that, Prabhu, mukti is the ultimate goal. Mukti can be given even at this stage. When you are at the Gyan Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga stage, and you have completely dropped the fruitive desire, and your action is only for your self benefit. Like there are 5 types of, mukti that will call Sayuja Mukti, Sarupya Mukti, Salokya Mukti, Sarsreshti Mukti. So those are some of those mukti you can get, at Gyan Mishra Bhakti stage. Okay, but that is still not pure devotion. Okay, so pure devotion happens only when even you are free from the fruitive desire, which is karma sannyasa, and when you are free from the any sort of self benefit, jnana sannyas. Okay, that's what Krishna says in 18th chapter, 56th verse, that one Brahmut Prasanatma na sochati na kanchati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhakti lavate param. Now Krishna is saying that madbhakti lavate param. Oh my gosh, we have studied Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, we have studied Krishna talking about Bhakti Yoga, 6 to 12 chapter. He has given the knowledge about uh, Guna, what are the division of faith. And then at the end, he is saying that Madhbhakti Lavate Param. I haven't, have I not started my bhakti much before? Then coming to this stage, the reality is not. Okay, you are somewhere still stuck either on the karma prayas or gyan prayas. So mad bhakti lavate param, when one is free from this fruitive desire or free from personal desire, then this pure unalloyed devotion begins. Vasudev Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Adhokshaja. The real Bhakti Yoga for Adhokshaja, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, appears. And what is that Bhakti? Ahitukiya Pratihata. There is Ahituki, there is no if and buts. There is no hetu. Hetu means benefit. Okay, there is no personal benefit that devotional service I'll do because people will say that I'll become very great, or maybe I'll become this, I'll become that. All the designation that we are seeing, these are none of the motivation in the devotional service. There is no hetu or hetu. And apartihata, there is no condition. Pratihata, ifs and buts, there are conditions, but there is no condition. There is no conditions, which means it's uninterrupted. Prabhupada has translated that it's uninterrupted without any self benefit. Okay. Ahitokya pratihata yatma suprasidati. That devotion is the real devotion. Okay. That is the real devotion, when we are free from any self benefit in the form of, we'll merge to Paramatma, or let me do bhakti because we'll go to Brahman. People see, as long as there is goal, goal that we are trying to focus on, these are not pure bhakti. Pure bhakti is Aitukiya Pratihata. That's why Sri Goswami has also, you know, given the definition of pure devotion. Anya vilasita sunyam gyan karmadya navritam anukulasya sankalpya anukulenu krishnanu silnam bhaktir uttamam. What is the uttam bhakti? Free from anya vilasita sunyam gyan karma. See, gyan karma anavritam. Very clearly, free from jnana and free from karma. Gyan karma anavritam. Free. Free from Gyan and Karma, Mad Bhakti Labate Param. Krishna says, my devotion begins. Now at this stage here, see, the real devotional service begins at this stage, Prabhus, not somewhere here. But unfortunately, we think somewhere here, bhakti has begun. Yes, bhakti has definitely begun. Bhakti is there, but that bhakti is mixed either with furtive desire or desire of self-benefit in forms of gyan or ashtanga. I'll merge into uh, Brahman, and I'll merge into super soul. I'll become free from this repeated birth and death. These are not the goal, although there are some light, there are some bhakti, right? So when we talk about pure bhakti, we are talking about coming to this stage, and that is why sometimes it does not make sense. It doesn't seem very realistic because we don't understand the true definition of bhakti. The true definition of bhakti is given by Mahaprabhu. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavita va jagadis kamaye mam janmani ishware bhavatad bhakti ahituki. My dear Lord, the bhakti that I wanna have for you must be ahituki. No dhanam, no janam, no sundarim, no kavita. So these are very advanced stage, very deep. Ordinarily, Kar Mishra Bhakti, that's the sad part of the whole thing, is that Kar Mishra Bhakti or Gyan Mishra Bhakti, this type of follower can never turn into Shuddha Bhakti. That is why when we are teaching, we request, there is philosophical understanding behind it, that even if you do little bit good, do ultimate good. Don't force people to go on the path of Karma Misra Bhakti or Gyan Misra Bhakti. Now, is it better than being Karma Kanda? Yeah. But they would never become pure devotee unless and until a pure devotee comes in their personal life. Bhaktya sanjayate bhakti. This pure devotion does not come by somebody's personal endeavor. Forget about it. You think that you can by yourself become pure devotee. Never. You can come to the stage of Karmisara Bhakti, you can come to the stage of Gyanmisara Bhakti. But you to become a pure devotee, you must need the mercy of a pure devotee. A pure devotee mercifully can give pure devotion. And in case of Prahlad Maharaj, Narad Muni, pure devotee, gave pure devotion to him. So we have to, that's why sometimes I say that we have to understand this process of bhakti. Don't think that whatever understanding we have here and there is true understanding of bhakti. It's not. So that's what Lord Krishna is talking to Lord Brahma. That my dear Brahma, anything that is not centered to me, now Prabhupada says that put Krishna in center. What does it mean? Means Nadhanam Najanam Nasundarim. I have no other desire. I'll do for the pleasure of my dear Lord. I'm engaged in pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you really understand the concept of pure devotion, all other things automatically, gets out of your way. If you understand that, okay, this is my objective, this is what I have to be, then all other ulterior motive, you understand that this is not going to make me a devotee who is pure. This is not going to take me to the goal where I want to be, right? And that's why Prabhupada in his introduction writes that all of work that I had done to make only one pure devotee. Now we have so many people following the Krishna consciousness and using things the way they want to do it. But Prabhupada, in fact, the whole hard work was to make one pure devotee. And that one pure devotee is here, right here on the top. Okay. Gyan Karma Navritam, free from this jnana and free from karma. And that Krishna says is reality. So bhakti is reality, pure unalloyed devotion to Supreme Lord is reality. Everything else appears to be reality, but it is reflection only. It's not reality. Reflection is not the reality. Reflection comes for a particular object. So it's not the reality. If you are in a very higher stage, Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, your reflection will be very clear, very strong. There might not be much difference between you and the reflection. Might be very contrastful, very clear reflection, but it is still reflection. So reality is when we are fully situated. Jivara Sarup Hoya Nitya Krishna. What is this Sarup? Sarup is reality. Jivara Sarup Hoya Nitya Krishna Das. So what is the Swarup? My original identity. My original identity is what? I am firmly situated in full devotion, complete pure devotion to Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that Krishna says is the reality. That Krishna says is the light. Vidya. Real Vidya is it should lead to Supreme Lord. Real Vidya, Yug Maya, help us come to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mahamaya, illusions of Supreme Personality of Godhead, help us go away from Krishna. So this is the essential learning coming out of that verse. This is the point that I wanted to drive from this verse. So I would like to give a pause and ask, was it clear? Did it make sense to you? Do you have any comments or questions on this or not?
Yes, Prabhu, is clear.
Yes, Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, BY is a Vairagya yoga or
Bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga.
yoga, bhakti yoga? Okay. Sure,
So that's how uh, the angas of the gunas, gunibhuta bhakti that we say, pradhanibhuta bhakti to kevalya bhakti. This is a chart that is start that saying thing. You know, this is here pradhanibhuta bhakti. In the bottom you have sakam yoga is, somewhere on the boundary of gunibhuta bhakti and pradhanibhuta bhakti, and slowly leading towards bhakti yoga. And that liberation again, you can see the liberation that we are talking about here. That is the ultimate liberation, which means Jiva is firmly situated in their original identity, which means we say going back to home, back to Krishna, serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead in our eternal form. That type of liberation has, as I said, and as we have been saying, different definitions. Liberation also means going to heavenly planet. That's also liberation because heavenly planet has much longer life than you have life on the earthly planet. But sometimes it's some form of mukti too, which you can get by worshipping demigod. So demigod can also give you some longer relief from the suffering of birth, death, and old age. No doubt about it. Liberation is also merging into the Brahman. Liberation is which is Sayujya Mukti. Liberation is also Shalukya Mukti. Liberation is also Samipya Mukti. Liberation is also Sharshristi. All of those are liberation. But Krishna, Prema, Pumya, Artho Mahan. All of these objects are there. But the greatest benefit or the most beneficial liberation for living entity is that when the living entity is firmly situated in prema of Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Narad Muni started inquiring, who is the topmost class of devotee? And Brihad Bhagavatamrita concludes that those damsel of Vrindavan, those gopis, are the top class devotee. Although others are devotee too. And then you can see uh, Narad Muni starts going to Pandava. Pandava says that, we have done some bhakti, but our bhakti was based upon Vipta Santu Tatsaya Tatra Jagatpate. We were under some crisis. We had some situations in our life. In that situation, we remember Krishna. So I'm not sure if this was pure bhakti. I think pure bhakti was done by maybe Lord Hanuman. Like that, keep on going, going, going. Ultimately, they say that, oh, the pure of the purest of the pure is gopis. Why? This thing, Gyan Karmanavritam. They had Lord Vishnu, in one of the pastime you would see that when the rasa dance was happening, Krishna wanted to show that why he is even doing this rasa dance with his devotees, these damsels of Vrindavan. So he disappeared from the rasa dance and appeared as Vishnu, and not to criticize. This is a very deep, fundamental, profound concept that we have to understand. And they said they were asking Vishnu that, do you know where is Krishna? So some of these are not just a story to share, but also understand the philosophy very clearly. that what exactly we are talking about when we are talking about the Bhakti Yoga. So this is what Krishna is talking here in this verse. He says that whatever is appearing, if it's not related to me, then it's not the reality. So complete reality is unalloyed devotion to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, Krishna says it's just the illusion, an illusion which is appearing to be coming out of the darkness. Okay, so that is the essential teaching presented here in this verse. Bhakti is the reality. Okay, so I think at 12, I cannot, I don't think that I can do one more verse, but maybe we'll take some time, try to understand these verses. These 4 verses, definitely no rush. So anything anybody has that they would like to ask. Arte artam yat pratiyata na pratiyata cha atmani tad vidyādatmano mayam yata vaso tatha tamaha. That is second verse of Chatuh Sloki. Okay, I'll pause here and see if there is any questions, any realizations.
So, Prabhuji, from Karma Kanda to Jnana Sannyasa, it will come under Avidya or
No, it will not come under Avidya.
only passion, ignorance and passion, it will come under.
Yeah, it's still Vidya, but not complete Vidya. It's Vidya with some fruitive or some self-benefit. It's Vidya. It's it is not complete Vidya, it's not complete Avidya. And example that I was giving is it's not complete dark and it's not fully lightened up. It is a state where you have some darkness and some light. And that is Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, where Bhakti is dominant. That's the Guni Bhuta Bhakti, Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, and Kevalya Bhakti. So Kevalya Bhakti is a real reality. Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti has Bhakti predominantly, but still there is some desire. So it's mostly light, but still there is some darkness. But unfortunately, that little bit of darkness that is there, that darkness does not get removed. The most important thing to be noted, and that would help you understand the respect for the pure devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead. When you see, big, sannyasi coming, big, uh, uh, devotees when they are on trip, they come. Normally people don't connect. They don't think, why do I need to associate? He is not, disciple of my Guru Maharaj, or he's not somebody, who I can connect with. But that's not true. That final ray, final, darkness or ray of darkness that we have in our life, that will be dispelled only by pure devotee, because pure devotion comes only from pure devotee. Nothing, mercy and endeavor. That's when we say the mother pastime, we say that there is mercy and there is endeavor. That mercy has to come from pure devotee, which means be very respectful. Don't unnecessarily use your mental intelligence or your material intelligence to judge, devotee. No, just don't get into all of this business. None of your business. Your business is do something seriously, sincerely. Krishna will reward the result. He will put you in the touch of pure devotee. Will help you inspire your pure devotion. Uh, it's not complete light. It's not complete darkness. Whatever darkness is left there, that darkness will be removed by Guru, who is pure devotee. That's why Guru should be also Utmadikari. Our teaching is not that anybody or anyone can become a spiritual master. A spiritual master must be Tmadikari, which is your devotee. That person can dispel the darkness. Is it clear, Mataji? Is it
Yes,
helping me?
Prabhuji. Yeah, yeah. So this verses generally talks about the process, Prabhuji, because we in Chatur Sloki it does like a Samandha, Abhidya, and Prayojana. What
This
is
is
this
Pariyojana Bhakt. This is
Prayojana?
Pariyojana. Yeah. Bhakti is Pariyojan, right?
Yeah.
This through Bhakti we receive the Supreme Lord. So this is teaching us the goal. Coming to pure unalloyed devotion is the goal, right? Krishna,
Mm.
that's why I use this verse. Krishna, Prema, Punya, Artha Mahan. Punya means living entity. Mahan means great benefit. Krishna Prema, love for Supreme Lord, is for greater benefit of living entity. So that is our Pariyojana, which happens through pure unalloyed devotion. So this is
Goal.
Pariyojana verse. Sambandha verse was last one. And this is giving us the goal of our life.
Goal of life is the process of bhakti which removes the
Goal of
tamoguna.
life is coming to the pure unalloyed devotion of Lord, right? Through the process of
But
through the by following the angas of bhakti, that is avidya. So avidha is how you come to the stage of pure unalloyed devotion by following the pure process also. You cannot come to the process of pure bhakti by following the impure process. So Krishna first talked about Sambandha, and then he is talking about Pariyojana. 34, 35 verse will talk about Pariyojana, and 36 verse will talk about Avidya, which is the process. So by the process which are given by devotees of Lord, by following that process, one come to the goal. So unalloyed devotion is the goal. Krishna Prema is the goal. And that goal comes by following the Angaja Bhakti that we studied in Nectar of Devotion, which means we are not talking about associating with devotee, or not talking about reading the Bhagavatam, or not talking about chanting the name of Krishna, or going to holy places. These are not the subject of our discussion. Our discussion is pure unalloyed devotion, which is outcome of the 64 angas that Rupa Goswami has given. Out of those, 5 are the most potent anga. So we're talking about the goal coming to the stage of unalloyed devotion, because all of that anga bhakti that we are following to come to the goal. Is it clear, Mataji, what I'm saying?
yes, yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yes. So this is a, if you ask in a very concise way, this is a pariyojana verse.
Mhm. I thought because process of bhakti, so I thought it is a process. This was.
So when Krishna, the order is a little different.
Mm.
So in Bhagavad Gita,
Mm.
Chatuh verse, first Krishna spoke about Sambandha, then Avidya, and then Pariyojana.
Yes.
But in Bhagavatam, uh, first verse is Sambandha,
Sambandha.
and next two verse, 34 and 35 is Pariyojana. And once you know your goal, then you are going to get the right process. It's like that. So know the relationship, who the Lord is, know the goal in that relationship, and then come to the
Mm.
process. That's how Acharyas have defined it.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It's clear now.
Yeah, so last verse will, the translation of that verse is, one who is searching after the absolute truth must perform the best process. The process comes in the very last verse. Must follow the best process. Right? So that becomes a vidya process. We'll come to that. I'll definitely explain that. Okay, so can we conclude here? It's 8:32. We're good. Okay, so let's conclude here. Vansh kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyevasya patitanam pavanebhyasya
Vaishnavebhyo namo.
anant koti vaishnavin ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. Sorry.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare